All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. We're going to decode exactly how to get the absolute maximum lifespan out of your EV. We're covering it all, from everyday care and surviving winter extremes, right through to safely putting your car into long-term storage. Whether you just brought your EV home or you've been driving on electrons for years, there's this really fascinating chemical balancing act happening right under your feet, and we're going to master it together.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll hit everyday EV maintenance essentials, beating the cold weather drop, prepping for long-term storage, and finally, waking up your electric car. Okay, part 1. Everyday EV maintenance essentials. We are totally flipping the script on car care here. Because electric motors have way fewer moving parts than a gas engine, your mechanical upkeep is lower. But less maintenance definitely doesn't mean zero maintenance.
So the National Renewable Energy Lab, they figure your EV battery is good for about 12 to 15 years in a moderate climate. But if you're regularly driving in extreme environments, that drops to 8 to 12 years. This battery is literally the heart of your car, so protecting it dictates almost every single maintenance decision you're going to make.
To fight that dreaded battery degradation, automakers actually want you to cap your daily charge at 85 or 90%. You see, batteries get incredibly stressed out when they're sitting at their absolute maximum capacity or when they're completely empty. That's exactly why most modern EVs let you set a built-in charge limit right there on the dashboard.
Now, fast charging. It's an absolute game changer for road trips, right? But relying on it every single day? That's going to degrade your battery way faster. Plus, it'll hit your wallet hard. Fast chargers can cost 3 to 4 times more per kilowatt hour than just plugging in at your house. So, for the sake of your battery and your bank account, charge slow and charge at home whenever you can.
And beyond the battery, these are heavy, complex machines. You've still got to monitor wiper fluid, cabin filters, and those vital cooling systems. Sure, regenerative braking saves your brake pads, but your mechanical brakes still need some love. You've got to lubricate those calipers every year if you live where they salt the snowy roads. And please, keep an eagle eye on your tires. All that extra battery weight means the rubber wears out much faster than on a standard gas car.
Moving right along to part 2, beating the cold weather drop. Winter basically throws your battery's chemistry into survival mode. Here's the kicker. Freezing temperatures can literally slash your range by a massive 30 to 40%. If you aren't ready for it, winter driving can turn into a real nail-biter. But don't worry, we've got some really smart strategies to fight back.
First up, preheat your cabin while the car is still plugged into grid power. That way you aren't draining your precious battery juice just to warm up the air. Once you hit the road, lean on those heated seats and the steering wheel warmer instead of blasting the main cabin heat, especially for trips under 30 minutes. Throw it in eco mode to systematically save energy, and seriously, take off those roof racks. Every single extra kilogram of weight and drag counts when your battery is already shivering.
Also, remember that cold air contracts. For roughly every 10 degrees Celsius the temperature drops, your tire pressure drops by 0.1 bar. Because your EV is so incredibly heavy, running on underinflated tires in the winter is a disaster. It creates terrible drag on your range and ruins the tires. Always check and adjust to the manufacturer's specs when the tires are cold.
All right, on to part 3, prepping for long-term storage. We're talking the deep sleep.
There's a saying I absolutely love. Gas cars worry about old fuel and engine seals. EVs worry about lithium-ion chemistry. If you ignore what your battery actually needs while it sits for a few months, you could permanently lose capacity, or worse, come back to a totally unusable pack.
So if you're going away, you've got to throw your daily charging habits right out the window. That 85 to 90% daily limit, forget it. For deep storage, you really want the battery chilling in this perfect Goldilocks zone of 50 to 60%.
Why? Right there in the middle? Well, storing a battery at 100% basically keeps the cells running at high voltage, which fast-tracks chemical aging. On the flip side, leaving it near zero means you risk a deep discharge, which can kill the battery entirely. Hanging out right around 50 to 60% keeps the lithium-ion cells relaxed and significantly slows down that calendar aging.
Your exact game plan depends on how long the car is sitting. Just a month or two in nice weather? You can probably leave it unplugged and let it sleep. But if we're talking 3 months or more, plug it in and set a strict limit right at 50 or 60% to give it a trickle charge. And if it's going to be parked for over 6 months, you really need to look into jack stands or wheel cradles. You want to take that massive EV weight totally off the tires so they don't develop permanent flat spots.
Now you absolutely have to slay the vampire drain. These cars are basically giant rolling computers. If you don't step in, they'll just keep waking up to check on themselves until the battery's completely dead. So turn off Sentry mode, turn off cabin overheat protection, and keep your key fob far away from the garage. Air out those heavy tires to the maximum pressure listed on the sidewall itself. Oh, and use physical wheel chocks instead of the electronic parking brakes so the pads don't seize up. Tossing a few bulk silica gel packs inside the cabin is also a fantastic trick to aggressively combat mold while you're gone.
And keep in mind, batteries hate extreme weather just as much as you do. Blistering heat cooks the cells, and freezing cold spikes the internal resistance. If you can swing it, a dry, temperate garage sitting right between 10 and 25 degrees Celsius, that's about 50 to 77 Fahrenheit, is the absolute holy grail for your vehicle's long-term chemical health.
Finally, Part 4. Waking up your electric car. It's time for the reactivation.
Okay, you're back home. Do not just hop in and peel out of the driveway. Take a minute, do a quick visual check for leaks or, uninvited rodent nests. Air those tires back down to your normal driving pressure. When you plug it in, listen for the cooling pumps humming. That's a great sign. Test your lights, test the wipers. And remember, that massive high-voltage battery won't even wake up if the little standard 12-volt battery is dead, so make sure that's healthy first.
When you finally get rolling, don't freak out if it sounds a bit rough. It's completely normal to hear loud, scraping noises on that first drive back. Brake rotors build up a ton of surface rust when they just sit there. Plus, your regenerative braking might feel pretty weak at first. Just take it nice and slow, head to a quiet area, and apply the mechanical brakes gently to polish off all that rust so the car can fully recalibrate.
Well, we've covered a ton today in this explainer. From dialing in your daily charging habits to conquering the harsh winter range drop, all the way to prepping for deep storage survival. I want to give a massive thank you to all of you for tuning in today. Keeping your EV running beautifully is just this incredibly rewarding chemical balancing act. So I'm super curious, what's the very first maintenance secret you're going to try out to maximize your battery's lifespan? Let that sink in, keep learning, drive safe, and treat that battery well.